Welcome to the Magic on the Inside podcast by the Sisters Enchanted, where we chat magic, hot topics, personal development, and good old-fashioned life. Brew up something delicious and sit with us for a spell. Hey everyone, it's Sara here, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and welcome into this episode of the Magic on the Inside podcast. On today's episode, it's a solo episode with just yours truly, and I'm talking about tarot and intuition versus tarot and intention. All right, intuition versus intention. So grab a tarot deck if you've got one, a pen and paper, take some notes, or just listen in. It's going to be a short, quick tip episode for you today, and I hope that you enjoy it. Now, let's get right to it. Tarot and intuition. That's like the way most people think about tarot and intuition. It's what we see if we watch a movie or a TV show and we see somebody reading cards. If you go to a fair, a festival, have your cards read, you book a tarot reading, it's likely very intuitive. The person reading for you might even incorporate psychic skills, mediumship skills, whatever skills they bring to the table. And that is an amazing way to experience tarot. It's a great way to receive messages, tap into an inner wisdom, and get guidance moving forward. But it's not the only way. And I think that getting hung up on intuitive tarot is really challenging for a lot of people who might have a lot of ego stuff going on that's in the way of them accessing their intuition, accepting their intuition, or having the confidence to act on one's intuition. That is the big thing with intuition. We all have it. Not all of us feel confident in hearing it and trusting it and in acting on it. And if you are in a place where you're not confident in accepting your intuition for what it is, trusting it, acting on it, believing in it, then using your intuition to guide yourself might not be the best thing to do. And that's where intentional tarot comes in. Now, in intentional tarot, you're working with the cards intentionally, just like it sounds. You're going to flip through the cards, you're going to look at the imagery, you can ask yourself questions, you can pull a card at random, and that's kind of using your intuition there, right? You can pull a card at random and ask yourself, what does this picture mean to me right now? What emotions does this evoke in me looking at this card? If I were to step into this card, what would I experience? What do I think I would tell that person? If there's a person in the card, what do you think that person's feeling? What are they experiencing? And beginning to intentionally ask questions of yourself. Now, through that intentional practice, you will be building your intuition because you're going to start to understand your connection to different imagery, your connection to symbols, your connection to different colors, to numbers, to the types of cards that you pull when you're doing these exercises. But through intentional tarot, you're interacting with the cards in a different way than you would using your intuition. Both are powerful. None is more important than the other. I do think that intentional tarot, pulling cards on purpose, or even if you have a tarot spread, reading the spread and then flipping through the cards and actually choosing a card based on the image or based on a feeling you have when you look at it to put into a position and then investigating. What does this card mean? Does this story tell me? Based on the card meaning, whether you know it, whether you have it memorized or you look in a guidebook, what does this look like as applied to the place I put it in the card spread? And in that case, you have intentionally filled in those gaps, right? These are great exercises to do when you have ego blocks. If you're feeling like you're so tied into a situation that you can't see through it, you cannot separate yourself, working with your tarot cards in an intentional manner is going to be very, very powerful in helping you to move past those blocks so that you can actually access your intuition and start to trust it a little bit more. But again, that intuitive piece, it's very challenging to tap into if you are feeling very ego-driven, if you're lacking confidence in your intuition. And that's where intentional tarot comes in and is so powerful. So intentional tarot, you're choosing the cards on purpose after looking at them. And you might use a spread, you might just pick a card and journal on it, you might pick a card and sort of interact with it in a different way, but that's very intentional. You're picking a card based on how it's making you feel, based on a way that you interact and receive that card when you look at it. Where intuitive tarot, we're typically not looking at the cards themselves, we're looking at the card backs, we are flipping cards based on intuition, we're interpreting them based on intuition. And here I want you to consider using your cards intentionally. So there's a quick overview, the difference between intentional tarot versus intuitive tarot. And there's a place for both. They can actually work well together. You can read tarot intuitively and intentionally, and also work in the opposite, the intuitive versus intentional that you didn't do. Just pull a card at random, pull a card with intention. You can do both together. That's totally fine as well. So just another way to look at it, another way to access your own inner wisdom in a different way. All right, so what I want you to do after today's episode is get out your cards and start considering, what does it feel like for me to read with intuition versus with intention? And how can you use both of those in your tarot practice? Now, if you want more help with this, if you want some help developing a tarot practice, be sure to check out our Tarot Throwdown program. You can find it at tarotthrowdown.com. It is like highly received, and our students love it. We've had over 4,500 people register for this class. When you register right now for Tarot Throwdown, we are hosting a one-day online live virtual event to celebrate our 5th birthday here at the Sisters Enchanted on May 23rd. And if you are in Tarot Throwdown, you have a ticket to that one-day event. It's going to be classes and guest teachers. It's so much fun, and it is the only way to get in is to have to be a student in Tarot Throwdown, and you will get a ticket to that event automatically because you are one of our students. So it's a great time to join us in Tarot Throwdown. It's at tarotthrowdown.com. We'd love to have you. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead.